What's up, everybody? So, episode 63 of What's in the Working. I can't believe it's been so much fun doing these things. I can't believe we're already up to episode 63. And imagine when we get to episode 100. Celebration time. So I'm super excited about my, this is my last video I'll be doing here in this setting. I'm super excited about my 10x10 that I'm putting together. Hopefully I can come up with some really cool space there for you guys in a background and everything else. I understand the important stuff is the information I put out, not what it looks like. But still, it's always good to have a nice visual appealing. Hi, Holly. God, she's getting so fat. I think it's because of the winter. Anyway, so things are going great here in New Hampshire so far. It's cold. It's definitely getting cold. It's supposed to be 27 degrees tonight, so that's going to be interesting. But I have woken up a few mornings already with ice on my windshield and all that fun stuff. So that's new. You know, they don't get that shit in Florida. Well, there you go. I just said my first curse word. Now I got to tell YouTube that I had profanity and it takes extra time to upload the video. Ridiculous, but it is what it is. So, oh, those are good girls. Okay, you come over here. So, without further ado, I just thought I'd give a little update. I'm going to be working on my 10x10 this weekend, this Thanksgiving weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, for those of you who celebrate it. I'm going to be working on it, though, the 10x10, so hopefully my next video actually will be in that setting. Shouldn't be an issue. But I totally am thankful for everybody who's been sending me messages lately and everything, and who, you know, this community. I just love this community with you guys, putting your heartfelt stuff out there and everything. So totally love you guys for putting out all your information and putting out all of your heartfelt sentiments and whatnot, and you know, and moving forward and being part of my life. I love giving out information to you guys. You've taught me so much, and in return, I hope I've taught you something, anything. That being said, love you guys. Let's get on to the video. What's up, everybody? Blessed be. My name is Manon, and you are watching Witch in the Working, where we will be discussing all things witchy in and around, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond. You can also find me on Facebook. Well, not right now because I still deactivated my page until further notice, but you can also find me on Instagram, and also I have my Patreon account where you can download the scripts for any of these videos that aren't live Q&As and stuff like that. So there are dozens of divinations in a witch's or magician's back pocket at any given time. Tarot cards, runes, water scrying, fire scrying, palmistry, automatic writing, bone throwing, candle dripping, magic mirrors, I-ching, and the subject we will be covering in this episode of Witch in the Working, pendulums. Pendulums, just like every other form of divination out there, take some practice to truly master, but it is definitely one of the easier and more readily hands-on than some of the other forms of divination. For beginners, this is an excellent practice to undertake as your first method of dabbling into the world of finding out answers from deep within, and even from the other side at times. In this episode, we're going to talk all about the ins and outs, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond of the pendulum and its secrets. So without further ado, roll the intro. Welcome back, everybody. So when you're first starting out in the craft and other occult mysteries, one of the first things we encounter along with magic and spell work is the practice and skill of divination. These practices are very diverse in both experience-based skill levels, techniques involved, and accuracy, as well as details of the results. Something like learning the tarot can take an ambitious witch years to master. Runes fall into the same category of difficulty, though there aren't as many involved as there is tarot. And even tarot and runes have different spreads that can change things up and open up all new doors, meanings, and results from these systems. These systems are very direct in the sense that the cards and runes have set meanings for the most part, and once these 78 cards or 24 runes are memorized for their meanings, all it takes is to flip one over and give the querent the hopeful answer they were looking for, or at least guide them in the right direction. Other systems like Scrying are not so cut and dry. These systems take a lot of intuition and practice of clearing the mind and developing the skill of channeling to see visions and messages to give to the querent. And most of the time, especially in the beginning, all you get is pictures that you then need to sort out and bring meaning to them, to then express or translate to the querent, so to speak. This is a whole different level of divination than just memorizing the meanings of set factory replicated drawings and symbols. In fact, I'm a firm believer that the latter is actually true divination, and if you really want to be a great tarot reader, for instance, it's best to train yourself in the channeling technique and utilize this practice along with the tarot drawings and symbols factory-based meanings. I could explain this in a little more detail, but that's an entire video all to itself. For a little more on this, see my videos linked above on divination and also on channeling. They're both also listed in the description below. Another divinatory practice that is cut and dry is palmistry. Again, all you need is to memorize the meanings of the lines on the hand for the basics, but again, those most trained and keen palmistry peeps will throw in some channeling finesse along with it. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the laying of hands, which is the concept of simply touching a person or object and channeling the imagery through yourself to relinquish messages to the querent about possibly who, what, when, where, and why certain circumstances are taking place or could be taking place. So let's talk about the divinatory practice of pendulums. Pendulums are one of the most basic and easiest forms of divination to master. All it takes is a question, a querent, and a steady hand. Working with pendulums is a great beginner's tool to break into the wide world of divination. The results are usually very accurate, and it's a great way to build and strengthen confidence in the practitioner, laying the foundation for future divinatory skills to be obtained and built upon. Pendulums can be a very simple tool in practice of simply answering a yes or no question, or it can be incorporated into an elaborate system of guides and spirits in communication with them. We're going to cover all of the ins and outs on the pendulum, so whether you want something basic or advanced, I'll explain all of it shortly to come. So what is a pendulum? According to Wikipedia, a pendulum is a weight hung from a fixed point so that it can swing freely backward and forward or side to side. There are many types of pendulums for many types of industries. Pendulums we are discussing that are utilized in the craft are usually a stone or piece of metal of some sort that's attached to the end of a string or chain and allowed to dangle, capable of free swinging back and forth and also left and right, and even clockwise or counterclockwise, circumambulations. Or as we witches call it, diasol or widdershins. I'm actually doing this on the camera. I wonder if it's going to be reversed. Well, diasol is clockwise, widdershins is counterclockwise, regardless. A pendulum is held above someone or something, and based on the behavior of the swing, again left to right or back and forth or diasol or widdershins, it will answer the querent's question. The pendulum should be held very still by the witch and not influenced purposely anyways, to swing in whatever fashion it's meant to be. It's believed that while concentrating on the question at hand, that the forces that be will work their energy down through the witch and therefore influence or tell the pendulum how to swing and how aggressively as well. All the witch is to do is hold the chain or string as still as they can and open up as a channel to receive the energy that will translate through the pendulum, giving the answers requested. So as you would expect, one of the easiest types of questions to ask are yes and no. Simply write down your question on a piece of paper or just ask it out loud. Hang your pendulum above the question, and if it swings to and fro, back and forth, it's a yes. And side to side, it's a no. Just like if you were to take your head, yes, 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 and no, or, no. So many witches will take these steps a little further though, and actually cleanse their pendulum first before each utilization. This is done by any numerous methods. However, one of the most common is to run the pendulum through some cleansing incense smoke of some sorts and then hold it over a white candle flame to cleanse any negative energies and reset the pendulum from the last usage. Also, Some witches will tell the pendulum ahead of time what is yes and what's no, and this is done by simply purposely swinging the pendulum to and fro, for instance, and stating out loud, while it's swinging, this means yes, and then purposely swinging the pendulum left and right and stating this means no. If they choose that to be. They could do the opposite. It's totally up to you. One may even swing the pendulum different directions, stating what they want that direction or circumambulation to represent, meaning-wise, allowing for multiple answers as an option of a question being asked. So you could, go, diagonally and give it a meaning. You can go counterclockwise and give it a meaning. You can go clockwise and give it a meaning. You can literally set up a whole slew of meanings. Pendulums date back centuries, and most of them throughout history were used for multiple purposes that had nothing to do with magic, but everything to do with timekeeping, for instance. There was even a pendulum created in ancient China that was utilized to help detect and locate an earthquake. Either way, they have been utilized in many cultures throughout time until relatively recently. We as witches and magicians now use them for our own special purposes. There are a ton of pendulums that can be found on the market today, from as cheap as a few dollars to super elaborate pendulums costing thousands. There's no difference between the $5 pendulum and the $1,000 pendulum, other than the quality of precious stone and chain that are attached to each other. The performance is completely the same. Whether you have a metal chain or string with a quartz crystal hanging from it, or a 10-carat diamond hanging from an 18-carat gold chain, the results will be just as accurate from the cheapo setup as the richy rich setup. Just find a combination of chain and weight that you like and go with it. Amazon is stock full of these devices and you can literally spend hours searching through all of the options. It's up to you and your liking and preference. So good luck and good hunting to you. Okay, so now that you know the basics of a pendulum, let's go over some of the uses of a pendulum so you can get started on your journey with this fun and informative little gizmo. So there's the simple yes and no questions, as I mentioned earlier. Simply write out a question that will receive a yes or no answer on a piece of paper. Dangle your pendulum over the question, open yourself up to receive, hold your hand over the paper, no elbows on the table, people, leave your elbows off the table, and wait for the swing. Again, usually back and forth is yes and side to side is a no. You might want to ask, for instance, am I going to play in the snow on Thanksgiving this year? Another use that many people overlook when utilizing a pendulum is using this device to locate the seat of an illness. Simply have the person who's feeling sick lie down on the ground with their arms and legs apart and away from their bodies. Simply hover the pendulum over each area of their body, slowly and with intent. Keep firmly in your mind that you're looking for the seat of the irritation. Once you've located the proper area, the pendulum will start to circumambulate or swing. As we discussed earlier, you may want to tell the pendulum ahead of time how you want it to react when it finds the illness. At this point, you now could have been revealed the start of where you could be ailing or the person could be ailing. The next step is to see your doctor if need be to help with the cure. Following suit to this, I've seen a pendulum used to discover the sex of an unborn baby. Again, the pregnant woman will lay down and dangle the pendulum over her womb. Again, tell the pendulum ahead of time how to react if a boy and how to react if a girl. Regardless, from the moment of conception, your baby has the genetic information to become a boy or a girl. So at any time, you can try this out at any stage of the pregnancy. Another slick use of a pendulum can be used to locate a lost item or at least narrow down the search area. Aside from simply asking yes or no questions as to where you may have lost the object, you can also draw a map of your house, for instance, with all of the potential rooms in question. Hang your pendulum over each area of the building or home until the pendulum shows you where the missing item is hiding. From there, you can ask questions to fine-tune the search or break out your witch sticks and point in the proper direction. What are witch sticks? That's another exciting video coming to you soon, and we'll get to it. You're gonna love witch sticks. Anyway, this mapping technique can even be done with a city map or state or world map and fine-tuned. There's no limits. So now for the best part of this video, and one of the most unique ways I have been, or I've been taught and seen to use a pendulum. I learned this technique from our lovely Pink, and when I saw it, I was blown away, as I have never seen a pendulum used in this way that is so powerful and unlocks its full potential. Pink turned me on to a device called a spirit board, and without further ado, let's go to Pink. Okay, so I'm here with Pink, and she's going to teach us how to use a spirit board. I have to take a little bit of whiskey because anytime Pink is in my presence, I have to take a little bit. Spirit board? I gotta take a little bit of a shot. It's either a good thing or a bad thing. I'll let you guys be the judge. Okay. So I'm gonna show you a spirit board, and Pink's gonna show us how to use a spirit board with the pendulum. Like I was just saying. So, Pink, what is a spirit board actually?
Yes, I should that.
Well, you need to tell me.
Okay, so a spirit board is a way to talk to, a Ouija board is a spirit board for one thing, and it's a way to talk to other entities or spirits, passed on loved ones, you name it. Yeah, okay. Angels. Some people use them to talk to angels too. So.
Okay, so you designed a spirit board specifically for pendulums.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That is so cool. So we're going to look at that in a second. So how long have you been using, like you taught me about this spirit board and it blew me away because I've never used a pendulum to this extreme before. Like usually a pendulum was reserved for like yes, no questions, little things like that, maybe finding a lost object, little things like that. But she has taught me how to take it to a completely different level. I mean, to where it's so much more than that. How long have you been using a spirit board with your pendulum?
Well, my spirit board has kind of grown over the years. I've kind of tweaked it and things like that. I might even tweak it again at some point. But I've used a spirit board, just to go regular yes, no, maybe spirit boards. I've also just used pendulums. I started out with just using the pendulum and learning what yes and no was and going from there. So after I used pendulum, finding out that it was my form of divination, because rather than tarot, I would just rather use my pendulum. It works so much better for me. I'm not very good at tarot. I'm like, what does that mean? Then I have to go read on it. I don't want to have to do that.
Right.
So I use a pendulum and it works out a lot better for me. It's just always worked for me, and I find that it's the most accurate for me as well. So.
Okay. And like I said, I have to admit, when she showed me this method of working with the pendulum, the pendulum was the last thing I ever went to over the years. When she showed me this new method, I totally, changed my mind. It was like, but that being said, should we just show them what it's all about instead of me rambling on like blah, blah, blah?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to take you out to our dining room table, and actually, you know what? We're going to do it right here on the bed. I mean, do the pendulum thing right here on the bed, people. Jeez. And we're going to...
Thank you. I was like, wait a minute.
Actually, you were kind of like, whatever. No. That's a future video to come. No, just kidding.
Oh my God.
No. So we're gonna do it right here because I kind of have everything set up here already. Like with the microphone and all that stuff. I think Seven's about to attack the freaking cable.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah.
So if you all of a sudden, this reminds me. This is gonna remind me of that Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase thing where the cat gets fried under the Christmas tree.
No, not just Kevin.
No. So we're gonna I'm gonna actually cut the video real quick, reset up, and I'm gonna basically reset the lights and everything, and make it where we can do this right on the bed for you guys. And plus it's a black background, so yeah, it'll be better. So okay, cool. Gonna get right back to you guys.
Hi. So this is my spirit board. It's kind of grown over the years, and I've done a lot more to it, but this is my current one that I have right now. So there's a way that I use this spirit board that's a lot like how a Ouija board works, but it is completely different, as you'll see. So there's a few things on here that I want to go over. Different portals. All these different circles that you see are different portals. So this portal, for instance, would have dates and numbers. This portal right here has words that you can spell out. This one has your yes, no, perhaps, ask a different question kind of in the middle here. This one tells like future things, what the future holds for you, whether it's happiness, sadness, money, no money, a surprise, something really bad, health, bad health, love, heartbreak, all those things are in that one. And then this one has, you know, what are you talking to? Is it an angel, an entity, a loved one, a spirit, male or female? Sorry. This is going the wrong way. and then this right here is a compass to kind of guide you in which direction the entity, spirit, or whatever you are communicating with can guide you on the board. Then we have 3 portals. This is the white light, which I use to cleanse any residue that might be in my pendulum. And this is an offering. I love to do offerings in incense form. With any offerings that I ever do, is usually always an incense. And then this portal right here is a protection portal. It has sigils of protection on it, and I also put black tourmaline in it just for added protection, because you definitely need to be protected when doing things like this, because anything can come through that board, and you don't want anything that means you harm to come through that board. So we're actually going to use it now. This is a little pendulum bed that I made for my pendulum, and I have a clear quartz pendulum. And what I like to do is I like to clean out any residual residue in my pendulum. So you'll see me just kind of hold it.
So this is holding it over the candle flame, like I mentioned
so
earlier.
if it's moving about, that's when you need to cleanse it out, really. But I did clean out my pendulum prior to. So I always clean out my pendulum before and after, just to make sure there's nothing in there. And so I'm going to call about whoever or whatever would like to talk to me. I bring offerings of new moon incense with the power of the new moon. Just so you know, we're not a new moon. But that's what I brought. So I hope that whoever wants to talk to me will come through. So whenever you go to talk to something, you always touch base in the middle, and there's little parts right in the middle here. So I'm going to touch base right in the middle. Just kind of tap it and bring it up. Who would like to talk to me? So I'm seeing an angel. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm just going to let this angel, my angel, whichever angel this is, I'm just going to let them guide me in where they would like to take this. Okay, so we're going this way. And it's actually telling me to go more this way. Okay. Is there a number or date you'd like to give me? Okay, I'm seeing 1. Now a 2. Kind of staying on that 2. It's moving now. 8. 1, 2, 2, 8. And Wednesday. That's my birthday.
Oh, wow.
December 28th is my birthday. Okay. Yes, that's my birthday. Anything special happening on my birthday? Yes. Is it going to be life-changing? Yes. Is it going to be good? That is also a yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. So, that's that, I guess.
Wow. So
Thank
I'm
you.
going to do a video on December 28th and see what it was.
It's going to be following me around the entire day on my birthday with the camera. So waiting for it. Alrighty. So I guess I'd like to thank the angel that come and talked to me today, and thank you for all the information. And I'm going to release you from the pendulum. And that's it.
All right.
We're golden. Yeah.
Very cool. So, is there anything you wanted to add to any kind of lesson about this spirit board or anything? Like anything you should tell, tips to tell people or anything like that?
Is my birthday really on a Wednesday this year?
That's what you want to ask?
Yeah.
Guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, because it
Answer down
says
in the
Wednesday.
comments below. Is December 28th on a Wednesday this year? That'll help.
Yeah. So that's how you use a spirit board. Again, there's a lot of other things that you can go into. You don't always use every single portal. I used quite a few of them today. I went from this portal here to this portal to this portal to this portal. So you really gotta let the conversation take you and guide you. I could have talked to that angel more. It seemed that this angel may have wanted to talk to me more, but I, didn't know how long that would go on for. So.
All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. You want to say goodbye to everybody?
Oh, yes. Thank you for watching. I also have, oh God.
Okay, we'll go back to the board.
Thank you for watching. I also have this spirit board as well as a video on spirit boards on my channel too, if you want to go check that out.
I'll put it in the description below.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of What's in the Working. Do you use a pendulum regularly? What is it made of? Have you ever used one to find out anything really important? Let us all know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe and ring that little bell. I love you guys and gals, and until next time and the next video, blessed be.